Thank you, Mr President. My question is to the Minister for Primary Industries, the Honourable Niall Blair. Rural media is reporting that farmers are having serious difficulty sourcing hay for their sheep and cattle due to the ongoing drought. In one instance, a farmer accidentally killed his sheep by feeding them excessive amounts of grain in an attempt to make up for the lack of pasture. Alternative feeds such as watermelons and potatoes are being offered to feed hungry animals, with serious concerns about nutritional deficiencies and animal health and welfare. Given that there is no end in sight for this drought, and with climate change indicating more frequent and prolonged droughts, is your department preparing a strategy for farmers who will need to abandon animal farming in areas where it will no longer be environmentally or economically viable?
Mr President, I thank the honourable member for his question, and can I just at the outset make it very clear that the Department of Primary Industries and Local Land Services both provide a range of services to farmers during this time of drought. And one of those services is providing a lot of information on nutritional requirements and also advice around what type of feed is appropriate to livestock here in New South Wales. We know that in times like this, our farmers are turning to a range of feeds, not only to provide the roughage but also the protein required, particularly for livestock. And that is something that some of them may have not used in some circumstances. And that's why we have our team of experts there to be able to provide that type of advice on what is safe, what is the safe and the best type of ration to be able to be mixing up for our livestock. And we also have programs like our feed calculator that the Department of Primary Industries provides as a service to farmers to make sure that they are feeding their livestock appropriately. And I think in the premise of the question, you can clearly see that the welfare of these animals is the utmost priority of the farmers in New South Wales. The fact that they are looking at what they can do to make sure that they keep those livestock alive and in a suitable manner is something that clearly demonstrates that they are well and truly concerned about welfare as an issue. In relation to the role that the department plays for preparedness, particularly when we look at things like climate change, we are always looking at how we can do more with less. We are always looking at how we can make sure that our farmers remain profitable, and we are always looking at how we can manage those risks for those farmers into the future. But that is the premise in which we do that. We do it to make sure that they can stay on the land and they can stay profitable, and we can come up with more innovative ways to be able to make sure that regional New South Wales continues to be one of the highest quality and best productive farming jurisdictions in the world, Mr President. We are not going into this looking at how we can close down areas. In fact, we are looking and using research on how we can have our farmers to be able to be better to adapt to some of the conditions. And the member may have heard me struggle through an answer yesterday where I clearly indicated that one of those things that we looked at and I visited last week was the use of solar energy and how we can embrace renewable energies and incorporate them onto our farms to make sure that our farmers continue to remain profitable and adaptable to the challenges that they face, including the challenges that climate change and any other variables that we see right across the state throw at our farmers. So, Mr President, we are doing a lot in this space, but it is not to make sure that we can get them out of farming, it's to keep them in farming, Mr President. That's what our job is to make sure that we continue to have farmers in this state, to make sure that they are sensitive to the landscape, to make sure that they are sensitive to the natural resources, but to make sure that they are profitable. They continue to contribute to the food and fibre production of this state. They continue to contribute to the social fabric of our regional communities. We love our farmers, Mr President. We want to keep them there, keep them on land, keep them profitable, not get rid of them.
Minister's time has expired. Yes, the Honourable Mike Pearson on a supplementary.
Would the Minister please elucidate on how your department uses innovative programs to assist the farmers to adapt to this situation where animal farming is considered not to be the way to farm in the near future because of these factors?
Cattle farm will look pretty strange without cattle.
Mr President, I think I made it quite clear that we are doing a lot to make sure that the producers of this state continue to do what they do best. But, Mr President, this is where we'll start to differ between the honourable member and myself and those of us on this side of the chamber, where we believe that we can continue to have responsible farmers in this state. We can continue to have farmers that are farming animals for food and fibre production, farmers that incorporate good natural resource management practices, good animal husbandry practices, essential high-quality animal welfare practices, because we believe that we can continue to do that in this state, and that's something that should be supported. So while I'm in this position, we won't be sending our departments down a policy path to try and stop that as a principle because of the ideology that some oppose animal farming in this state. That's not what we will do. But we will make sure that those that are involved in this, those good, law-abiding citizens and businesses that contribute to all of our regional communities, they are of the highest quality and the highest standard, Mr President. Highest standard of animal welfare, highest standard of the best use of natural resources, sustainability, and making sure that they are in tune with the social licence and the consumer expectations that not just our domestic customers have and desire, but also our international customers, Mr President. So we'll continue to make sure that we support our farmers. New South Wales is good for farming and farmers are good for New South Wales, Mr President. We'll support them. We probably share a difference in what the role of this sector is into the future, but while I'm in this chair, we'll back our livestock producers, Mr President.